Our society glorifies busyness. Do more, achieve more, be more. And the common belief is that the most successful people of our society are the ones that work the hardest and the longest. But instead of success, you're getting tired, you're getting overworked, and you're getting full of anxieties that you're just not good enough. Today, I will explain a way inspired by Newport to be efficient, productive, and successful without overworking yourself. And in the end of this video, I will share the single most important factor when it comes to be successful. Welcome to Within Podcast. I'm your host Philip. Today without my co-host Sarah. Nonetheless, over the last couple of years, we have set ourselves a goal to learn everything there is about personal development and practical spirituality. And the things we learned that helped us the most is what we're going to share on this podcast. So when I hear motivational speakers, like for example, David Goggins, Alex Hormosis, Jordan Peterson, whoever you name, they all talk about one thing: the hustle. They talk about if you want to be really successful, well, then you have to do more. You have to be more courageous. You have to work more. You have to do these extra hours, and so on and so on. And to be honest, they are essentially right. Because if you want to achieve something great, you have to put in the work. You have to walk these miles. No one else will do the work for you. But they never explain how to actually do the work, how to work. And I think that's such a crucial question because we work so many hours every single day. And if we don't know how to properly work, we are at risk to be tired, unhappy, unsatisfied, unfulfilled with our lives because we waste so many hours. So how to actually work? And there is a professor called Newport who explored this topic in depth. And he invented a term called slow productivity. Slow productivity is about doing less, but paradoxically be more productive, efficient, and successful in the long run. So how does it work? The first rule he set up is if you want to do more, start doing less. It's about focusing your energy on the topics and on the tasks that have the most impact. That means don't waste your time with small tasks or with things that don't give you as much revenue as you spend time with. For example, when we talk about I'm doing a presentation and I start focusing, of course, on the content, but after some time I realize, well, I want to do an amazing first slide of my presentation. And I start putting all my energy in this first slide. And I lose hours with this first slide. And eventually it comes out good. But the thing is, what's most important in this presentation is not the first slide, but is of course the content, the things, the information I'm going to provide to the listener. So if I want to grab their attention, I have to focus on how I'm going to present what I want to say and what do I want to say. And this is the task that has the most impact on my listeners and not the first slide. So by realizing and deciding which task has the most value to you and has the most impact to your success, you start doing less by focusing on just this one task. The next rule he set up is called the paradox of efficiency. Most people think by doing a lot of things at the same time, they will save time. But actually, it's the other way around. By doing too many things at once, you will lose time. You will have to invest so much more time than you originally planned. Because the human brain is not capable of doing two tasks at once. What some people are capable of is task switching. That means they switch from one task to another And they can do it so fast, it seems like they can do multiple things at once. Multitasking. But multitasking is not possible. For example, Marines are trained to hit multiple targets very quick and efficient. And if you stand outside and watch them, it seems like they shoot every single target at once because they are so fast. But what they train is to focus on a single target every single time. So they just switch from one target to another. And they do this so efficiently and so fast. And it seems like they can do it at the same time. And there is a reason why they are so efficient by focusing on one target at a time. Carl Newport calls this the deep work mode. The deep work mode is a space where you are fully focused on just one task. For example, imagine a programmer who has to script a new program just by himself. Then this program is in his deep work mode. He can just focus on this task and nothing else. That means he's not getting interfered by a phone call. He's not getting distracted by an email or messages or whatsoever. He can purely focus on the task at hand. Now, compare this programmer with, let's say, another programmer who at the same time gets calls, writes emails, like some quick replies, nothing too long. I'm 100% sure that the one who has a deep focus will be so much more faster than the other one, because the other programmer always falls out of his focus. He always has to focus on some different task, even if it's small ones, and then has to refocus. He has to put so much more energy in his original task by always getting distracted. And it's so easy to use this concept practically, because if we want to get some work done, we turn out our phones, we close every other task and just focus on the one at hand. And I tried it out and I was so much faster than before when I tried to do many things at once. And even though I have a busy schedule and I have a lot of tasks on just one day, by doing one task at a time, I'm so much more efficient and productive by trying to do everything at once. Another principle that's often overlooked is work in your own pace. It's actually impossible to work at full speed every single day, 8 hours a day, for years. That's impossible. We can't sustain such a workflow because, well, there are different days. There are days where I didn't catch enough sleep. There are days where I have emotional trouble that distract me. And that's fine. That's human life. But I kept stressing out when I couldn't keep or deliver my full potential because I knew I can do better. So I regularly kind of stressed myself. And when I look at this problem in the long run, when I look at my mental health in the long run, I realize, well, that's not sustainable. I will not feel the consequences right away, but like after some months or years of regularly stressing myself, I will get an answer. I will get a response. Well, and this response will not be a positive one. It could be that I start some small anxieties, get tired much more easily, be a bit unhappy, or eventually have a burnout. Now, to prevent that, I need to take rests consciously. And I think a lot of people are scared sometimes of taking rests, and they feel guilty when they have a day where they do nothing at all. Because in our society, people that are constantly productive, that are constantly producing something, they are glorified. And people who take their time off are called lazy. But if you are constantly productive, if you're constantly pressuring yourself to do something that's just unsustainable and dangerous for your health, and that's completely unnecessary because successful people take their time off. For example, let's take David Goggins. David Goggins is known for breaking his limits, doing more, achieving more, pushing himself. But in his book, he writes down, after like a hard week of training. He says on the weekends, he uses his time for his family. He takes time off. And he needs that because he needs to recharge his batteries. Because the next week, he again will have 5 hard days where he needs every bit of energy. But to sustain this lifestyle, he needs to plan his rests. Because the point is not to achieve the most in the shortest amount of time, but to be successful over the longest period of time. I don't want to be fully productive for 5 months straight and then have a burnout and have to rest 12 months. So be productive, be busy, work hard, but take rests. Plan your rests. And when it comes to success, what is the single most important factor for succeeding? And there is just one component that stands above every other element you need to succeed, and that is you. You need to put in the work. You need to have the mindset. You need to have the courage. You need to have the mental strength to push through, to be successful. But be honest with yourself. Do you cultivate this most important factor? Do you take actively and consciously take time with yourself? And if you want to be successful, you need to take time with yourself. Because how many little dramas, little anxieties are there that still stop you from being the greatest version of yourself? How many doubts are in you that say you are not enough? Is your mindset strong enough to push through hardship, through difficult challenges? Or are your fears still too strong, your insecurities too strong to be courageous? To be successful, you have to feel, you have to think, you have to act, and you have to be like a successful person. That means you have to destroy all your fears, all your little anxieties, all your insecurities that keep you down, that keep you from succeeding. And you can only destroy these fears by understanding this fear. Why am I afraid? Why am I insecure? Why am I not self-confident? But you can only ask yourself this very simple question when you take a rest, when you stop the world around you and look within. When you look at yourself and take time with yourself to understand yourself, why you think the way you think, why you act the way you act, why you don't act like a successful person, why you don't think like a successful person. And when you find the answer to these questions, you can dissolve these fears. You can destroy these fears. And it makes it so much more easier to be successful because you don't have to fight 2 fights at the same time anymore. You just need to focus on the problem at hand and not your inner doubts and not your inner fears. That's a fight you completed. That means success at first always comes from the inside and not from the outside. If I could give you some value in this episode, it would help us a lot if you leave us a like, a comment, or subscribe to us. Thank you.